I have given a name to my pain. The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Batman of Gotham.
You don't really think you'll win, do you? I'm Batman.
Hey now, welcome to episode number 10 of the Batman on Film vlog. I am your host and the founder of Batman on Film, Jett Ramey. With me is my partner on these here Batman on Film vlogs, straight from Plano, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Mr. Rick Shew. How you doing, Rick?
Episode 10.
It is.
Directed by Ryan Johnson, right, yes. Mario?
Oh, I hope not.
We got comment. That's a podcast for another day.
Oh, it sure is.
Mario and I have been talking. We've got a Star Wars thing we're going to do, and we're going to do a Superman thing pretty soon too. But anyway, yes, more on that later. My kids are home today for the great Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I've got a let's see here, my Elsa coffee mug here because my daughters are home.
I just got Batman. That's all I got here.
I got my Elle fanboy mug.
Elle fanboy mug.
Yeah.
All right. But I have my dadgum original BOF shirt.
Well,
mine is in the laundry because I actually wore it to the gym the other day. So how about that?
I saw that. Yeah, and you have a Dark Knight emblem, don't you?
Yes, I do. Just
awesome.
For you guys.
There you
Just
go.
for you guys.
All right. Well, look, let's get right to it, Mario. Mr. Mario Francisco Robles from Revenge of the Fans, which launched today. Congratulations,
yes,
sir.
Today is launch day, and I think there's a Batman story you might be interested in discussing.
Yes, let's talk about it. Look, what the hell's going on with Matt Reeves' Batman? I mean, I think there's some splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
Here's my analogy, and Rick's made this before. We discussed it. It looks like DC on Film is basically going the Batman Forever route, and I don't mean the tone and the campiness and the silliness, but they're soft rebooting this Joker is what they're doing. They're doing it right. Yeah. They're going to do it right in front of our noses. We might not even know it, but that's what's going on. So, what was the gist of your report there, Mario?
Well, the gist of my report is that the current plan is that it's going to remain in canon, but the way Reeves is constructing the story, it's almost irrelevant whether or not it's in canon because It's going to have zero references to anything else.
Yeah.
At this point, the only real connections are going to be by way of the actors involved because it looks like Jeremy Irons will be back as Alfred and J.K. Simmons will be back as Commissioner Gordon. But aside from those actors appearing in there and acting as the sort of connective tissue to the greater DC universe, the script itself does not reference the other movies at all. So it's one of those things where it's connected, but only in a mere technicality.
Does this leave that door open to what we've talked about, Bill, where if this is the route that this is going in, that a prequel is probably the thing that's most likely, guys? What do you think? Or do you think he's just going to keep it in real
I'm not
time?
ruling it out because I have no idea what he's doing, to be honest, except for the fact that he is he's doing his own thing. I'm sure he's going to put his stamp on the aesthetics. He's going to put his stamp on everything. I would, if he would have taken the job if he didn't have that sort of leeway to make the Batman film he wanted. So prequel, whatever, it's just going to, it's kind of like the Joker. It just is. It's just going to be what it is, and if someone wants to see it and go, you know what, somewhere out there is Aquaman and somewhere out there is Superman flying around the skies of Metropolis, that's fine. But I can go in and go, this is its own thing, and it's going to be, it'll work with both. So
it's just like if you're watching Batman Forever and you know that Kim Basinger's Vicky Vale exists somewhere in that universe. She does, but she doesn't, right? I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It's that. I mean, what was the connective tissue in the Joel Schumacher transition? It was the core cast members.
Yeah,
it was Alfred. It was Gordon.
Was
Pat
he
Engel
for that one?
Yeah, Pat Engel. He did all four.
Okay.
And he really grew in the role too. Just each film, just more of an intricate part for him. That's a joke, but that's how I look at this. Is that I think this Matt Reeves thing, if all this is accurate and those core cast members are returning, that's what this is going to be like. It's just going to be the Joel Schumacher transition. We've seen it before.
And
yeah, we definitely have.
And then there's the analogy, Mario, of with Affleck and Kilmer. I mean, Kilmer came in. Kilmer technically was the same Batman as Michael Keaton, but the film looked completely different.
Yeah.
New Batmobile, Gotham, everything. Of course, So I'm thinking this is what we're talking about here. Even when the people I've talked to said, "Oh, it's its own thing. It may, it's not." It could maybe even be under that new banner. Well, I don't think it's gonna be underneath that new banner myself personally, but I think it is definitely its own thing, just like Aquaman is, and just like Wonder Woman 2 is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes back to that Vulture report from a couple months ago.
Yeah.
It really seems like they're sticking with that concept of we're going to move each of these characters onto their own little island. There's going to be minimal crossover, minimal reference, no winks, none of that sort of stuff. Aside from those post-credit things I told you at the very end that they're still probably going to do for the Legion of Doom. But aside from that, the stories themselves will not interconnect much at all.
Rick, I think it was just me and Mario last time we talked about the Legion of Doom thing. What's your whole take? You know what my take is. I thought there was no point of putting that in. There was no point of putting that in Justice League.
You're such a hater, Bill.
I am a hater. Well, I didn't see any point because you don't know if they're going to get films with Legion of Doom, or you'll see Lex Luthor again with Jesse Eisenberg, or the
Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah, and all of that. I don't know. Rick, your thoughts, because you didn't get a chance to talk about that last time.
I have no idea. I really just don't have a clue. Look, right now what we do know, it sounds like Suicide Squad 2 is a go. Would we all say we agree on that?
Yeah.
Until they start filming, we'll see. But at least there's real talk about that. There's actual discussions. All of this other stuff with Legion of Doom, I think, is speculation at best at this point. I understand those, and I understand there was a post-credit scene in Justice League, but that's also a movie that was a complete disaster in terms of the box office and everything. I don't think that. I think they're just wanting to get away from that film as much as possible. So, doing Legions of Doom, is that? Is there any interest in that? I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Mario, go ahead, Mario.
No, well, just going back to that original report I had on it, it looks like they're preparing to try to make it a bigger deal because there was some buzz. People were excited about seeing Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke, and it was sort of surprising to see Lex Luthor and all that sort of stuff. So it looks like they're going to make a push at San Diego Comic-Con to sort of build, kind of put together a presentation for the Legion of Doom, not for a movie, but just for the entity themselves, because there's apparently going to be another tease that they're going to shoot just for Aquaman. That pertains to that idea as well. So the studio is high on the idea of building this in the shadows, kind of building a stable of supervillains in case they do eventually do another team up movie and have them going up against them.
When you say there's a buzz around it, I don't mean to just push back on that blindly. I don't know what that's based on. Like the film. Who was excited for that? The 37 people that saw the movie? I'm kidding.
All right, it made $654 million. Right? It's not a total.
I know. That was a joke, but it's still. I don't know. That's my point. Is that it's so underperformed.
Like some of the social media stuff, like when Joe Manganiello posted that official high.
I get that.
Image, there was a lot of comments and retweets. Whatever.
That is just such a small fraction.
That's the thing. At this point, the studio is grasping at straws because they know they screwed the pooch on the overall what this could have been. So at this point, anything that got anyone remotely excited, they're like, "Yes, let's cling to that," and that's a little bit of positive energy.
I love that post-credit scene. Not to mention it was a surprise to us because that wasn't originally in the film, and that was nice to have a surprise. We knew a lot about this film going into it. So, and I like Jesse as Lex. I'm one of those weird guys that's not crazy about BVS, but actually love him as Lex. It's usually people that love that movie don't like him in that role. I do. So yeah, I'd love to see him again. I'd love to see all this happen if it worked and it was the right time.
And Mr. Last Jedi guy, they were hoping that coda, that the post-credit scene would be the spark that lights the fire, that fuels the resistance. Anyway,
that brings the First Order down.
Yeah. So yeah, they were hoping that little thing would give us a little bit of a spark, and I think that's where they're headed for now.
But when you listen, the fact that they're actually talking about Suicide Squad 2 in a very more or less official manner, that's relevant to me. Obviously, that does leave the door open for Matt Reeves' Batman to have some connective tissue. I was really kind of leaning on it probably being a complete reboot. Looks like I might have been wrong about that, and that's cool. I like that cast anyway. Suicide Squad 2 moving forward is very interesting. Let's see if they stick with that. Is Jared Leto in this? Margot Robbie, is she in the film? Is all that confirmed?
Yeah, I mean, Margot Robbie, she talks about it every opportunity she can. You know, it comes up a lot. So
I love Leto's Joker, too, man. I'm also like, of all the problems I have with these films, it's some of the things that people do have a problem with. I'm like, that's actually a positive thing.
Yeah, you and I are you and I are on the same page there. Everyone always craps all over the DC villains and whatnot, but like I actually enjoyed Jared Leto's Joker. I thought there was potential there. I enjoyed Jesse Eisenberg's Lex. I'm one of the few people who love Doomsday and Batman v Superman. So I know I'm a kind of a rare bird. I know I'm a rare bird, and considering everyone thinks I'm some sort of DC hater, you know, I have actually liked it. I even liked Ares. I liked Ares and Wonder Woman. Now Steppenwolf, I couldn't. I'm with the consensus there, but I enjoy some of a lot of the DC villains. I just got to put that out there. Don't.
For the record, I'm not a hater of Eisenberg's Lex. I liked Jared Leto's Joker. I'd like to see more of it. I mean, I think people were so taken aback by the aesthetic, and there was one. It was the tattoos. That was come on, let's call it like it is.
They had to do something. You know? They had to do something different.
Besides that,
you had Ledger's Joker. They had to go a different route aesthetically with him. They just did. I thought it was. I hated that the first shot we had with him doing this and just the way it looked. And it started to grow on me. But just like everything else, when you see it in context and you see it in action, it works. So let me ask you guys this. So let's say that all this is accurate and this is going to be a soft reboot and we're going to get a lot of the same cast members. We'll get to the Batman thing in a moment. But aside from the actor playing Batman, separate conversation, are we getting a new suit? Is he going to get a new car, much like Schumacher did? Is that clean slate there, you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he should. Yes. As much as I love that car, get him a new car. Let's make this fresh. Make it fresh.
I agree. I would like to see a new. I mean, you keep the logo for continuity's sake. You know, keep the bat symbol, the big, thick, hunky one. But everything else, you know, let's go something new there. Absolutely.
All right. Go ahead, Bill.
No, go ahead, Rick.
No, here's my question to the panel. When can we finally stop talking about Affleck?
Well, that's where it's going anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When does this end?
It really looks like we're heading there faster than ever now. I mean, I'm with you. I'm so tired of discussing this will they or won't they. Is he going to do it or isn't he? But I spoke to someone behind the scenes, and they're saying like the studio is officially they're sour on him. They're over it. You know, they want this partnership to be done, and they're just trying to figure out how can we bring this to a peaceful resolution already. They are ready to move on into something new.
Well, that's that's what my guy said, and it's also, you know, there's tossing out, put him in Suicide Squad 2. Flashpoint. I don't think Flashpoint's going to happen. I'm not holding my breath for that one. But we think that Suicide Squad 2 is going to happen. Pretty sure of it. And then when you've got Joker and you've got Harley Quinn in it, it's essentially it's in the Batman sector. It's in, you know, part of the Batman cinematic universe, kind of, sort of. But look, I think Reeves is going to cast his own Batman, period. I think that's already a done deal. I think it's a done deal. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, do you recast while you're still flirting with having Ben Affleck do an extended cameo in Suicide Squad 2 or Flashpoint? I think I don't think we'll see Ben Affleck as Batman again. And just because he's contracted for a third film doesn't mean, or whatever, fourth, third, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Because you know, two full films. He did a cameo on Suicide Squad. I guess he's got. Hell, George Clooney and Val Kilmer technically were under contract for more Batman films, and that's, you know, didn't come to pass. So, what's y'all's thoughts about that? I know where Rick stands, but I'll say it again, Rick. You're done with it yourself, right?
I've been on Team Jake when I first heard about Reeves meeting with him months ago.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at, Team Jake, and I'm over Affleck. I don't see how anybody can watch Justice League, and I know it's all subjective, it's art, and we all have our opinions and everything. So I don't want to sound like an ass here, but I look at that film going, God, not only am I over him, he's over it. Like all his reshoot scenes, he slept walk through those. I'm done. I'm Team Jake, baby.
Yeah, here's the funny thing for me is I love Jake Gyllenhaal to pieces. I've been a huge champion of his for years now because I think he's one of the undersung best actors of this generation. But I have a very hard time picturing it, and I'm trying to be open-minded. I've been blown away before. I didn't see Heath Ledger as Joker when they announced it. I've had plenty of pleasant surprises like that, but I have a hard time picturing Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman. But that said, he's more than talented enough to make it happen. And if Matt Reeves believes in him, then I guess I should too.
Yeah. Well,
just remember, Mr. Mom blew everybody away as Batman.
Oh yeah.
Back in 1988 or 89, technically.
But that's where the switcheroo makes it weird too, though, in terms of Ben Affleck has a totally different physical presence than Jake Gyllenhaal does. Affleck I think is 6'3" or 6'4". He's big and broad, and he looks like that sort of classic Batman mold. Gyllenhaal's 5'11", and even when he's ripped, he's got a smaller frame, and he looks like he would play he would be a very different kind of Batman, physically speaking. So I'm going to be curious to see how they try to address that sort of continuity, or do they just kind of go, he just got skinnier now, and that's how he is?
Yeah, I don't know if they worry about that too much. I mean, Affleck is. I was pretty close to him in Vegas a couple of years ago, and I'm 6'2" and a half, 230-pound guy. I'm a big guy, and I look over at him, and he looks like he's 7 feet.
He's a big guy.
He's a big dude. I remember going, God, he was actually in training for BVS when I saw him too. So he looked great. But here's the thing: is that
movie magic.
Well, also, my two favorite, and I actually really like Affleck in BVS a lot, and I like the stuff he shot in Justice League that was shot by Snyder. All that stuff is really great. But Bell and Keaton are still my two favorite cinematic Batman.
And they're little guys. Yeah.
And they're little guys. They're smaller than Jake, so just keep that in mind too.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't have an issue with the height. I just, in relation to the fact that he's playing the same Batman, it's just weird for him to suddenly go from big, he almost looms over Henry Cavill Superman. So now he's going to be looking up at Henry Cavill Superman if they do ever share the screen again. It's going to be a little.
And there is the big if.
Yes, I know you're very skeptical about that, but you know what?
Well, no, hold on, and I'm not talking about Cavill Superman. Okay. With all these rumblings going on right now, I'm changing my tune on that. It looks like it's getting more likely for Cavill to actually return. And I said this, I will not have egg on my face on that because I'll celebrate it. So that's a good thing. It's just it blows my mind. If you look through cinematic history, there's no there's no precedent. There's no reference for this. You're kind of one and done if your film doesn't quite work. Brandon Routh, I mean, one and done. And he was a good Superman. And Superman Returns isn't a shit movie. It's would have been better if they cast me in it. I'm kidding, but that's a joke. But no, Brandon Routh was great, but he was one and done. And there's a lot of examples like that. Look at Green Lantern, again, one and done. Yeah. Look at Ang Lee's Hulk, one and done. Just for them to bring Cavill back after these films didn't work is just unheard of. But looks like they might do it, and if they do, that's great. But that still doesn't mean that we're going to see them on screen together, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll concede that. But you know what? I'm going to put you both on the spot on your own show. I'm going to turn the tables on you. You ready? You guys are never going to have me back on again. No, now that you know.
Don't screw up our Superman and Star Wars shows.
No. Now that you know that Suicide Squad 2 is seemingly still on the way, that we got Wonder Woman 2, that all this stuff is still, another Superman movie with Cavill is likely on the way. Are you guys ready to put to bed the notion that there's going to be a blow it up sort of reboot thing, like I think Rick was talking about right after Justice League came out?
Well, keep in mind, and I'm pretty sure
they're not blowing it up.
I can safely say this if you go back and look. I've never actually married myself to them blowing everything up. I knew they were moving forward with Aquaman. I did say I'm not sure if they would have made that film, and it would have been greenlit if they knew the numbers of Justice League.
That's a great point, by the way.
But that's what about is, right? And I've said they're not going to blow up Wonder Woman 2. Wonder Woman, they're going to move forward to. They could keep her in period pieces. And I said, as far as Matt Reeves' Batman goes, they're either going to reboot it or soft reboot it. And if they soft reboot it, they're likely to do a prequel. It looks like they may soft reboot it and not do a prequel. So there's some wiggle room there. But at the end of the day, I've never been one that says just blow it all up.
Yeah. There's
too many good things that are working. And I, for one, don't want to see people like Jared Leto not get another shot at the Joker. I like Jesse's legs. Cool. If we're gonna move forward with that, then let's do it, and let's give these guys a chance to shine. So I've never said, and Bill, I'm trying to think your specific stance on this.
No, my stance is always
mine's never been blow it up. It's been let's blow that up, keep that, blow that up a little bit, and keep this. That's been me.
My stance has been what I've kind of think they're doing. They're just making movies, and they're kind of soft rebooting this thing as they go.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I didn't want. I didn't think you should throw the baby out with the bathwater, because there is some good stuff, like Rick said, with this current cinematic universe. There's a lot of bad. But
plenty of bad.
But there's good, and I think if you just focus on making good movies and don't worry about Mario, and I'm sorry, don't worry about Legion of Doom. And don't worry about these post-credit scenes. I don't know why he would sign off on that, but I'm not. That's just, we'll see what happens when Aquaman comes out in December. So,
but I think we're getting a clearer picture now of what the final takeaway from Justice League is, which is DC is just going to look to what they've created so far and try to salvage the good and throw away the bad.
Yeah,
it looks like that's what they're going to do ultimately.
Yeah. And even Patty Jenkins has said Wonder Woman 2 is its own thing as well. And hopefully it is a period piece, a 70s, 80s Cold War story. Then you don't have to worry about addressing. Well, you know what? You don't even mention Justice League. You don't mention BVS. Just make the.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Just mention make the flipping movie and don't worry about it. Go.
They barely did in her first film, and it worked.
And and you didn't even have to have that, really. Yeah, it could have been done in a different way. It was to kind of show the connectivity of it.
And they knew Justice League was coming out 4 months afterward.
Yeah, and there was, there were people who saw Wonder Woman who didn't see BVS, and it didn't matter. It just didn't, because the movie was its movie. All right. So
and what also didn't matter is, as much as audiences loved her and loved that film, rightfully so, it's great.
Yeah.
That didn't carry enough weight to push Justice League in the right direction either. So it goes both ways, right? These films need to be just good films.
Yes.
And if they're good films...
And don't worry about beating people over the head with continuity. And look, we're all in the shared unit. We're all in the same universe, okay? And look at all these winks and nods. And look, we're all going to all come together in Justice League 2. Really? Come on now. Justice League... I just can't.
I think we can all agree Justice League 2 is not coming out for a long time.
No, it's not. And it may be never see, but I'll never say never.
No,
you know what?
You know what? Yeah, exactly. It's not in the near future. And if it's in the future, even if the near future is 50 years, maybe would be the case. All right, let's plug some stuff and get the hell out of here. Rick, go ahead. I'll let Mario go last since he's our guest. But go ahead, Rick.
Follow me on Twitter, Shew Rick, SHEWRICK. That's it for now. We've got a lot of cool things coming up, satellite show-wise, Star Wars, Superman, Back to the Future trilogy. I have
Rick
3.
Is in charge of that. Rick is in charge of the Superman.
I have 3. I've got something specific for me and Mr. Mario. So we've already kind of started the correspondence about that. But I do have a Superman in cinema show that I'm also developing as well. So that'll be a different one than what he and I do. What you and I will do, sir, will be it'll be right in your wheelhouse, and I'm excited for it. And then
I'm very excited too.
And then we need a Star Wars talk, man. When are they going to release a Solo trailer, dude? It's freaking January 15th. Is that movie coming out in May, dude?
Let's save that for our Star Wars thing.
Yeah,
I can go off on that.
But this was just a teaser of a little Star Wars thing
yes.
we're going to do together.
Yes.
Follow me on Twitter, please.
All right.
All right, Mario.
I am at I_am_MFR. By the way, the reason I'm like stuttering is I want to get out there. I love the new layout for the site. By the way, Batman on Film looks great.
Thank you.
So well done with the new layout. And speaking of new things, today I launched my site, RevengeOfTheFans.com. It's going to be where you can get all my exclusive reports and reviews, and it's my new home. So I hope you guys make RevengeOfTheFans.com part of your daily ritual as you get your geeky needs met.
Is it coexisting with El Fanboy? You're still keeping
El Fanboy was really always meant to just be the place that was like the home for my podcast, just kind of like a little, just a hub site for the podcast. I started publishing stories back in November just for fun, just to kind of see if anyone would care. And lo and behold, lots of people cared. And that's where the inspiration to actually launch a full-fledged news site came from. But El Fanboy is just going to revert to being like the home for the podcast. But Revenge of the Fans is now where you can get your news and analysis from me.
Awesome.
Good. Yeah. So El Fanboy Podcast, you continue with that, right, sir? Okay,
podcast,
good. All right.
And one last plug, if I may. I'm also launching a new one that's the flagship show for RevengeOfTheFans.com called The Revengers, the official movie and TV podcast of Revenge of the Fans. And that comes out every Tuesday as well. And that's not just me. That's me with two co-hosts. We butt heads. We have differing opinions. I've put together a nice little roster there for that. So The Revengers can be found on Apple Podcasts and TuneIn and Stitcher and all that good stuff. So
wherever great podcasts are found.
One question, Mario, and quickly, so we will get the hell out of here. Any way possible in the next 10 years, Warner Brothers releases a Zack Snyder cut of Justice League?
It does not sound realistic to me. It still doesn't. Even you had that great report on the site where they debunked what that stunt coordinator, the stunt man, that someone actually manipulated his text to say that he knows that a cut exists. People are literally fabricating fake news to propagate this story. All they have is an assembly cut. It's unfinished. It still needs work. It would still require more reshoots with the original actors to complete what Zack Snyder would have wanted. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Our guest on our last blog, wonderful young woman, Itzmo, and she kind of organized. She doesn't like to call it a protest. She likes to say it was a photo. She marched to Burbank, man, and we want the Snyder cut. But she was very reasonable on our show. She's like, look, they're not going to make that film. I just want to see the scenes. Can they just slice the scenes together?
And I think that's the best you could hope for.
Yeah, and that's a very reasonable request. Like so people need that's a fight worth those guys fighting.
Yeah, I was telling Rick there were scenes that were going to be in Justice League under Whedon that didn't make the theatrical cut because they wanted to keep it at 2 hours or of course 1 hour and 59 minutes that exist. And so when people say, "Well, we saw this got leaked," most likely those came from the stuff that was chopped off to make it under 2 hours. It's not specifically Snyder stuff because that stuff's not finished, guys. And Warner Bros. Is not going to spend millions of dollars, do reshoots to package together a film that they officially said that was what you saw in theaters in November. That was the Zack Snyder cut.
And to that end, to what you're saying, I've reported that there will be an extended cut, but it's not going to be the Snyder cut. Like there might be like a 2 hour, 15-minute cut that just includes some additional footage, from both of them. Things that round out the story and that they think fans would like, and probably helps them sell some extra Blu-rays to sell an extended cut. But that extended cut, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, but the extended cut will be a combination of just whatever helps the movie, regardless if it's Snyder or Whedon. It's just additional content for the movie itself.
They're not pumping any more money into that film.
No, they're not.
No. All right, Bill, plug something. Where can people find you on Twitter?
At Batman on Film, and please check out Batman on Film 2.0 as we were calling it. Well, it is Batman on Film now. Just redesigned site. Everything's cool. So I am starting to put together. I'm adding some of the old Dark Knight content right now because there's a lot of it, and since this is the 10th anniversary of the Dark Knight, look for that stuff. My set visits, premiere stuff, interviews. I've posted an interview with Chris Nolan. I posted an interview with Emma Thomas, and so anyway, you'll find that on Batman on Film. All right, so let's do this real quick. All right, I need y'all to do this together, Rick, at the end, okay? Batman on get ready now. Batman on Film. you getting that mesquite in you right now, Rick? Okay, all right, here we go. Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive,
and the Dadgum original. We got a Texas and a New Yorker doing that together. I love it. All right.
All right, we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.